And by the way, I've decided to start recording my Monday Prepper scenarios. This will be the first one that goes up on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, remember this is just an excerpt from one of my podcasts, 1492. You can go to the Survival Podcast and look up 1492 and see everything that's in this one episode. But I want to start getting some more content out on YouTube for the YouTube community. And on the Survival Podcast, we talk about things like this. And a lot of you guys that are part of the audience want to share it, but you can't share a whole show. So maybe this is a good segment to share to get people thinking about preparedness from a practical standpoint. So today's prepper scenario, and either comment in the blog or comment in the video notes below, what would you do for this scenario? Here it is today. You're in a large shopping mall. Some sort of panic breaks out. You have no idea why. All you know is that people are freaked out and screaming stuff like, "We have to get out of here." The situation is getting worse by the second. Being trampled to death is a real threat. The thing is, you don't know if the internal threat of staying put is real or imagined. You have no clue what's actually gone on, what the danger is. To make matters worse, you're pretty far from any exit at this point. It's not a simple duck out the door for you. And you have a child with you that's in your care, whether it's your own child or a child that's been trusted to you by somebody else or what have you. The child's about 80 pounds, small enough that they're at greater risk of being trampled by someone, but large enough that just like picking them up and grabbing and running with them isn't the easiest thing to do and may really impair you. You have to decide, are you going to grab this kid? What are you going to do with them? Are you just going to grab them by the arm and drag them through? How are you going to handle this? And that's where you're at now. People are panicking. People are rioting. People are screaming. People are scared. People are heading for the doors any way that they can. People are being stepped on, trampled. You want to help people, but you also want to stay alive. You got this little kid you're trying to take care of. Now, you might think my scenario for you today is, what do you do now? That's not my scenario for you today. This is a much more practical thing that you can do every day in case this happens. My question is for you, what steps would you take in advance when entering large public buildings to be best prepared to react to this scenario? In other words, carrying your gun doesn't really help you here. You can't just start shooting your way out. And, you might be going someplace where you can't carry, or maybe you don't carry. This is not a direct threat, though. This is an indirect threat. And this is often in disasters the bigger threat. It could be a fire. It could be a bomb threat. Somebody could have just started screaming crazy stuff. There might be no threat. The best thing to do might be to take shelter, let the crowd clear out, and then get out. But if the building's on fire, you could be dead by that. You don't know. So when you go to a mall, especially, or any large venue, public venue, a concert, anything like that, there's a situational awareness component that should be being practiced. And when you have a child with you, it takes on a higher level. A 80-pound child, you're probably looking at a kid that's 7, 8, 9 years old, doesn't have the mental capacity to truly be responsible for themselves in that situation. You're responsible for them. And it could be an elderly parent. It could be someone that you've just decided, I can't help everybody, but I can help this one person that's infirm in some way. How do you mentally prepare yourself if things go wrong? What are the steps you take from the moment you walk in the door, the entire time you're there, until you leave, to be best prepared for a situation where things just go wrong? Leave your comments either on the blog, episode 1492, or in the YouTube comments below. And again, if you want to know more about things like this, check out the Survival Podcast at thesurvivalpodcast.com. Okay, guys, with that,